welcome back to Carmel High Connections. I'm Allison Criddle. Today we'll be talking with Doug Johnson, who is a senior at Carmel High School and a member of the Carmel High School Ambassadors. How are you doing today, Doug?
Pretty good.
Okay, Doug, for those that don't know about the Ambassadors, could you give us a little bit background?
Well, in its simplest terms, we're just a choir, but different than most choirs. We're a show choir. That means that we not only sing, but we dance, and we try to more or less entertain our audience with showier types of music, you know, dance tunes and things that they can snap their fingers to or whatever.
All right, and you've performed at quite a lot of places. Could you give us a little bit background on some of the places you've performed?
Well, the Ambassadors do several shows a year, and most of our shows we do for private organizations around the city or here at Carmel High School. We do several shows here on our stage. We travel around, do things for clubs and groups such as DECA, the Women's League of Voters. Basically, we just travel around the basic area. I've been to New Orleans last year. We went to New Orleans to perform for the NASSP. I've been to Chicago twice. We've also been as far south as we do shows for some of the southern high schools who are just starting their show choir programs. We'll go down and do a convocation for them, or as far as, you know, Bloomington up in there, some of the schools that are just getting their programs started.
All right, are these just high school kids, grades 10 through 12?
Well, yeah, that's all. We don't allow freshmen in the group simply because we don't have freshmen at the high school level, and it's very rare that we get a sophomore in the group. I was fortunate enough to make it as a sophomore, which it's a big honor, but it's, you know, it's not easy. There's a lot of responsibility in being a sophomore ambassador, and we don't normally allow them in the group, or I shouldn't say allow, he doesn't allow them in the group just because of the maturity level still, and you know, it's their first year in the high school. There's a lot in Carmel, we don't have a problem with enough kids trying out normally, so seniors and juniors normally get first dibs.
All right, could you tell us a little bit about what you went through to audition for this group?
Well, when I auditioned as a freshman, not being in the high school, I had no idea what Mr. Helms would expect or what he wanted, so I just picked a song that I could, you know, really jazz it up and show some of my talent, and you just schedule a time with him and you'll perform in front of him and Mrs. Conrad, just a solo by yourself with accompaniment, and he basically judges your audition on how well you sing and, you know, what you look like, and whether you get in the group or not has to do a lot with that audition. I think he looks heavily upon your grade point average. We do have a required grade point average to stay in our group, which is good because that forces kids or urges kids to do better in their schoolwork. And I know it's helped my grades quite a bit. So he takes a look at grades, and I'm sure, you know, I can't say exactly, but I'm sure he'll ask around other teachers what your attitudes are like in class and, you know, what your personality's like. He wants kids that are responsible and that are dedicated and can show commitment to the group.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit about your director, Mr. Helms?
Well, again, I've been fortunate to be in the group as long as I have, and I've got to know him fairly well, I think. I think I'm closer to him than most students will get just because I've been here longer. He's a really neat guy, but he's an excellent director. He's tops in his field, and after going to some of these contests and seeing some of the other directors, it makes you really appreciate him more for his talent. No other director has accomplished what he's accomplished in the show choir world in the Midwest. For instance, no one has won Bishop Lures as many times as Mr. Helms has. And there's something about him that brings him closer to us. He doesn't try to be a dictator or anything. He's very strict and he's very firm, but he's caring and understanding to the individuals. You know, he cares about what everyone's feeling, and he cares that people are happy in the group, and you know, he works with us, not against us or, you know, above us. He works with us. So he's a neat guy, fun to be around and work with.
Sounds like he's a good help.
Yeah, he's excellent.
Now, what kind of contest have you been involved in?
Well, I've only competed once, where as a singer and a dancer, I've only competed once, and that was last year. We went to Bishop Lures, and competition is like nothing else in the show choir world. It sometimes brings the best out of a group, can also bring the worst out of a group. Last year, I think it really got the best out of our group. The preparation for a contest is so much different. One problem that we get into a lot in show choirs, that if a group does not get a chance to compete, they often think that they're not good enough, or that they were cheated out of something, but really it's not. It's just different. It doesn't make a group any better or worse. It's just different. You prepare different, you rehearse different. You got to remember, competition shows are only 15 minutes long. So, you know, you condense everything into 15 minutes, rather than this year, we rehearse for 2 hours. For instance, right now we're in rehearsal for Friday and Saturday night, and it's a 2-hour show, and it takes a lot of stamina, so we rehearse on a more strenuous basis. We try to build up our stamina, and you prepare for different things. In contest, you get very nitpicky. You're concerned more with the judges rather than the audience, and in our shows this year, we try to concern ourselves more with the audience. You know.
Do you have any upcoming competitions coming up this year yet?
Well, we had one planned for the end of the year. We were going to go compete at an international music festival, which it's a competition. You don't actually compete against other groups, in the sense that 3 or 4 groups could get first place, and it's like a rating system. But the competition is on the same weekend as baccalaureate, and scheduling just got confused, and it didn't work out. But we did get to go to Chicago this year, and participated in a contest situation. We were the host choir. We guided the other choirs around the competition, which was fun. You know, we did our show for them. So I don't feel cheated. I mean, I feel like even if we're not going to compete, but I feel like I've gotten a lot out of just, doing our shows.
Right. Is there a lot of rehearsing that goes into these shows?
Well, depending on from show to show, like I said, we do approximately 40 to 50 shows, so we do several shows. Some shows take more rehearsing, obviously. We do have 1 hour a day class period to work, and we try to build up a large repertoire of music so that, for instance, if we have a 15-minute show at Woodland Country Club for DECA, obviously we're not going to spend a week and a half rehearsing for it. We should be able to do that show just with some preparation in class and, maybe 1 or 2 night rehearsals afterwards. But for instance, for our shows Friday and Saturday night, we're rehearsing from 6 to 10 every night this week. And it takes a lot more for a bigger show like that. We try, on our bigger shows, the ones that are more important to us, we try to put more time into them. It takes more time. Right,
naturally. Is there a summer camp that you all have to attend or have optional?
Well, it's we don't have to attend. Mr. Helms is not only a famous director, being Carmel High School ambassador director. He's famous also for doing his clinics and his workshops across the nation. He does several camps a year. He's the host, or he's the guest clinician at several camps, and students are encouraged to go and work at those show choir camps. I think it's a good idea. I have a lot of friends that go to them. I personally haven't attended one just because I've been so busy over the summer, and I have a philosophy towards the camps a little bit. If you're a member of the Carmel High School Ambassadors, this is sort of a pat on our back, but we are very intensive. We are probably the best example of top-notch show choir in the Midwest. And I don't mean to brag in any way, but I mean, for me to go to a camp last year wouldn't have done me any good, because at the camps what they teach is basic show choir, and we're already on an advanced level, but they are a lot of fun. And if you're a student and you would like to be able to get into the ambassadors and become a part of the show choir in Carmel High School, I would suggest going to one of the camps, because they can be a lot of fun, and you can learn a lot if you haven't been exposed to the show choir that Mr. Helms is involved with.
All right, sounds good. All right, coming up, as Doug has mentioned, Friday and Saturday night is an evening with the Ambassador's 10th anniversary. Could you tell us about the 10th anniversary bit?
Well, it's kind of rushed. We've been working all year long as that to be our goal, and we're down to the last week here. It's Wednesday night, and we'll be in the rehearsal tonight for it. Mr. Helms is in his 10th year at Carmel High School as director of the Carmel High School Ambassadors, and on Friday and Saturday night we've invited all 10 years to come back, and we're going to do a 2-hour performance. Our first act will be music and songs and material that we've already done this year as our group. That will be known as our group. And then the second half we're going to do a tribute to all 10 years. And we'll go back and sing and dance parts of songs from all 10 years, and even invite all of the alumni to come up on stage with us in the end and try to perform some of the numbers that the ambassadors have done over the years. For instance, Side by Side, which we've done almost every year, will be performed by everybody. So it's going to be a very emotional 2 nights, I know, for a lot of people. It was said last night in rehearsal to us by Joe Binns, said that one of the alumni put it this way: for some people, ambassadors was a big part of their high school career, and to some people it was the only thing that went right. And it's going to be, the ambassadors has meant a lot to the kids over the 10 years. It's been a very important part of my life. It's made my high school career what it's been. And for those alumni to sit out in the audience and see us performing, it's going to be a meaningful thing. It's going to be an excellent show. We've got some really dynamite music picked, and we're really psyched up. It's going to be top-notch. It's going to be really good.
Sounds good. Have you heard from a lot of the alumni for the past 10 years?
Several. We have people coming from everywhere in America. We've got people coming from California, New York, Utah, New Orleans, St. Louis. They're just flocking, you know. Of course, we didn't get 100%, which, you know, a lot of them are, you know, in new jobs and can't come back because they just started, or things like that. But when you consider there's 250 of them, for us to only get, you know, 200 is excellent. That's excellent. So we're planning to have a big turnout. We're not yet sold out, so there are tickets left in the bookstore, but we're getting there. It's pretty close, and you know, we're looking forward to a big turnout. I think there's going to be several, especially from the last 4 years. I think we'll get the majority of the last 4 years.
That's great. And so you have all choirs knowing one song at least?
Well, yeah, all the 10, everyone will perform 2 songs, actually. I should have told you the other. All the groups, all 10 years will perform side by side, and that's what Friends are for. So, as far as anything else, we figured, let's just try to get 2. More than that would be a little, bit risky. Some of them haven't sung in a long time.
Right.
So.
Are they going to be given words to memorize?
Well, yeah, we sent them out music. Some of them, another thing that I might mention about the show that'll be a treat to some people who have been following the Carmel Ambassadors. Several ambassadors have gone on to pursue professional careers in performing arts and performing on the stage, and there will be some of them who will be performing feature acts, solos in the second act. So if, for instance, Missy Jordan will be singing, and some of the old familiar alumni who people expected to go on and be big stars will be coming back to do some of their stuff for us.
Sounds exciting. And how much are tickets, Doug?
Tickets are $4, and all seats are reserved. If you're interested in a ticket, the bookstore is where you want to call or come in during the day. I would suggest the morning is a good time to come in and get your tickets. Don't let me scare anybody off, there are good seats left. Mr. Krause tends to think every seat in the house is a good seat. So for this show, every seat in the house is a good seat. So there are still seats left. It's not sold out yet.
Great. We wish you the best of luck with the concert. And we'd like to also ask, is there any other upcoming ambassador concerts? Is this the last one?
Well, this is the last one for a little while. We'll do our shows out in the public a little bit. For me and for a lot of the ambassadors, this will be the last one. This will be, this will be the end of my 3 years, so it's kind of emotional for me. And we'll do an all-choir concert in the spring, and baccalaureate and graduation we'll sing there too.
Okay, great. We wish you the best of luck, Doug. And that'll wrap up this edition of Carmel High Connections.
Thank you for tuning in to Carmel High Connection. Carmel High Connection will be brought to you each week at this same time. This has been a CHTV WHJE production.